What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Scale News Update. This is the show where we talk about the news topics that happened in the scale world of RC over the past week. This is the face of exhaustion. I got off a plane barely an hour ago, coming back from Utah from We RC Rock Nationals, and got to get this show done so that I stay on schedule, whatever it's going to be. I don't know how this show is going to go. It's going to be a mystery to all of us. But if you like the show every week, throw me a bone and hit the like button this week because it may be a little bit rough. But with that, let's jump into this week's topics. First for this week, RC Everyday, popular YouTube channel you may be aware of. He just released a new sedan hot rod kit, and this consists of a chassis and a body, as well as a couple of accessory pieces that go along with it to help you complete this project. He's released this in a couple of different configurations as far as like the body makeup, printing style, things like that, where you can order this from his website, which there will be a link to below, and you can build yourself something a little bit different, a little bit more outside the box. It does still end up being a custom build, but he does have some pretty decent information on being able to complete this through the rest of the steps that you'll need to, acquire the parts for and things like that. Looks like something that might be in your wheelhouse, something a little bit different. You want to change it up. Go check this out. Pretty cool looking piece. We've got links to it again down in the description below. This week we have a couple of new things from Knight Customs. First up, we have an interior set for the Tamiya Porsche 956, just to help kind of fill out that sleek race car look that these have. A lot of Tamiyas obviously are not competitive race cars, so if you want to make it look a little bit more scale realistic, this is going to be a good fit to finish that off. If you're interested in this, you're buying the 3D print file from Knight Customs so that you can 3D print it yourself. But if you don't have a printer, you don't want to print it for some reason, then you can look at his network of authorized resellers of his printed parts, and you can have this done yourself. You can find that information on his website. The next item is something a little bit different. These are some gate markers. Now, this is a collaboration project between Knight Customs and P-Dub Designs. Paul Wilhite is behind that company. And you can buy the files from Knight Customs and print these yourselves in a number of different configurations, including like a spring-loaded marker where it's got the base and then it's got the stock with the spring setup, so it'll be a little bit more robust. Or you can have a more kind of a shorty one without the spring load. You have just the base to it. You're buying those print files again, and you're going to have all of those configurations. Or you can go to P-Dub Designs, which there's a separate link for down in the description, and you can buy the sets pre-printed from him in all of the different configurations, or any of the different configurations that he lists. But on top of just having them printed, you can also get the decals made for the gate numbering, as well as some details that go along with them. So if you want to kind of make a complete, professional looking set, you don't want to just Sharpie a number on there, then this is an easy option for you. A number of different ways that you can purchase this. Go through a site, you can click all the options, or if you want to 3D print them yourself, you can buy just the decals from P-Dub Designs. So again, all of the ways you can get this project done if you're interested. Links to all of that and all of what we're going to talk about today down below. As I mentioned, I just got back from We RC Rock Nationals. I was up in Cedar City, Utah. I left for that trip on Thursday and got back tonight, or Monday night. So it's been a long day. It was windy and the weather was hot some days and beautiful, absolutely beautiful others. We had an absolute blast. Ton of courses. The growth of that event and that series has continued to increase as the year has gone compared to last year when it was the very first event. It was a small turnout for the very first time. This year probably over triple or more as far as entries go compared to that event. So it was an absolute blast. Beautiful terrain up in Cedar City, Utah, where we got to host this. Matt, myself, Dan came with me as well, and we had just some amazing time on the rocks. We also made kind of a bonus trip on our way back to Vegas to fly out. We stopped, had some crawling with West Desert Wheeler, shot a bunch of video. It's going to take a lot of effort to get through all of that and put together a video for you guys on that trip, but something really looking forward to doing because it was an awesome trip to document, and looking forward to kind of putting that all together. Seeing it once more myself even, because it feels like a whirlwind, but Thanks to everybody who hosted that event. Thanks to everybody who came, said hello, we got to hang out. It was a blast. Looking forward to it next year. Hopefully it's in the same location. I really enjoyed that. And thanks to Zoku RC for sponsoring this month of the Scale News Update. Zoku RC has a number of different chassis sets for all kinds of different platforms, and they're a complete chassis set with everything you need to complete a conversion. Rather than just buying the rails themselves, you get everything needed, no matter how complete that may be. Recently, Horizon did a huge sale on the Axial SCX Pro, and Zoku RC has a replacement chassis option for that. In case you want to go to a carbon fiber version, again, they have different materials for their chassis as well. Slider options and different widths for some of them. A ton of different options depending on what platform you're looking for. Definitely worth checking out. If you picked up one of those SCX Pros on the cheap and you want to change it up, go look here first. And thanks again to Zoku RC for sponsoring this month of the Scale News Update. And I'm far too tired to come up with any sort of segue, but channel membership is available for the channel if you're interested in some additional videos behind the scenes. Matt and I did a little bit of a live stream while we were out in Utah, which is a great time. You also get access to the videos early, like Scale News Update. You get the night before. Afternoon's Delight, where we kind of go back through, talk about some topics in the news, rant a little bit extra, fun little discussion. But if you're interested in that, all the information down in the description below. Appreciate all of you who are interested in that, but appreciate all of you for watching regardless. And this Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, come watch Livestream Takeover, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern every Wednesday. And if you work for an RC company and you want to see any of your products on the Scale News Update, you can shoot me an email to news@harleydesigns.com. Just include a description, photos, and a link to where you can find it on your website. Happy to take a look at it, see if we can get it here on the Scale News. This week in the email had a new one from Reefs RC. They've got some new brass wheel faces for the wheels that they make. So these are sold in pairs, and you'll replace the aluminum face from the wheel sets that they sell. Now, these are an all brass design of the same styles that they offer currently. There's two different styles called the Sheild, obviously, and the Blade. Now, in the email they had sent saying the wheel faces sold in pairs are machined from solid brass and are 68% heavier than the aluminum wheel faces. The faces are direct replacements and provide additional weight down low. Now, I read it verbatim for a reason, and that's because down below they state the weight. Aluminum, 12 grams, brass, 39 grams. Now, I'm very tired, but they're bad at math. That is 225% heavier. Change the batteries in your calculators. Now that's for the Blade design. The Sheild design, the weights vary a little bit, but the math is still very close and still wrong in the email they sent me. I got a call. But if you have the Reefs RC 1.9 wheels already and you want to add some brass faces to it, go check them out. They're available for order already. Next for this week, Losi just dropped a bunch more Losi Nascar liveries. They've got the Bushlight, the DeWalt, the Raptor, and the Valvoline. I don't remember the drivers for each of those. Those of you who know that probably know which one you may or may not want. But as I said, you can get these as the full vehicle, battery, charger included, just like they have been at a pretty attractive price point where they've been trying to hit it. Or if you have one of them already and you wanted to put one of those new bodies on it, the bodies are expensive. $72 is what the body only lists for. So doing a body swap for one that you already have may not be totally realistic, just because of the price of the vehicle already and what that is. So if you really like one of those, you might just want to pick up another car. So something to think about for there, or maybe $72 for a new body is worth it to you. Deluxe Fab dropped some new portal axle options for you guys this week. These are the DX44 portals. These are a Capra Width option. These use an AR44 gear set in the center with aluminum tubes and then separate slide-on portal boxes, both front and rear. It's got some lightweight portal gears inside there, which do have a nice reduction to them. Their own custom shafts, servo mount behind the axle, as well as like a battery tray. These are meant to be a drop-in for a Capra axle type system. It does say that some chassis may require different configurations based on the battery or the servo location that they have on those axles. But if you're looking at a custom application, that's something that you're probably going to be more, comfortable with anyway. The center section of these axles is made to be for maximum clearance, so it's very close around the ring gear. It doesn't have like the scale style of a fabricated diamond housing or anything like that. The front axle starts at $369, or you can add brass weights to it to go up to $399, and you can also get it assembled for an additional charge if you want. The rear is considerably cheaper at starting at $259 for an unassembled version. But that does it for this week's news topics. For this week's question, just coming off of a big event always gives me just a bunch of motivation to do a ton of different things. Always super excited. I have a blast at events, and it was cool to see the growth of that area over the last year. Something that is always fun to see, especially in an area that I really love myself. But what I wanted to ask for this week's question is, what holds you back most from getting into something new? Not necessarily We RC Rock, whatever it is, a new area of this hobby, a different hobby, whatever it may be. Is it just time, money, time and money? Time is money. Or is it just like the motivation? You're fully invested in one thing already, and that's what you want to do. You don't want to go to the new thing. It's always interesting to hear people's perspective. Everyone's life is different, complicated, everywhere. So sometimes it's fun to hear a little bit of insight from each of you on that. Drop your comment down below. Reading the comments is my favorite part of the scale news every week. But that's gonna do it for this week's scale news update. I barely made it. I'm so tired. I'm gonna go edit this here shortly, but that's gonna do it for this week. Hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Channel membership's down there. I appreciate you guys watching every single Tuesday. Thanks again. We'll see you on the next one.